Well, good morning, guys. Another fine day in the old pine forest. We're continuing on Fort McMuffin today, which is our little cabin. I've coined it. Actually, Mark, my buddy Mark, coined that term because he was like, that thing looks like an egg McMuffin. And I'm like, I like egg McMuffins, so that's what she's gonna be. The story on this pine forest is it was planted about 40 years ago through a government incentive program to, reclaim sort of farmland to make it productive forest. Well, previous property owner failed to do is thin this forest. So after about 4 or 5, even 6 years, even 10 years into the first planting, you're supposed to go in and thin the forest. Well, this forest was planted and forgotten. It was never managed. Now, a lot of people, especially in the comments I read, well, you guys are killing trees, you guys are cutting trees. Well, this forest is essentially dead. There's a lot of trees that are standing, but there are a lot of trees that need to be removed because it's not being productive anymore. It doesn't have enough light to the forest floor. As you can see, we are right in the middle of the day, and it's not very bright in here. The only reason it is bright is because there's a little bit of snow on the ground. Really big dead tree over there, dead tree, dead tree, dead tree, really big dead tree, dead tree. Here's dead standing, the bark's coming off. But that's the sort of stuff I'm going to be dealing with today, is the stuff that's dead. It's kind of like a multi-year project, and it's to slowly take out anything that's dead standing. Like, I could go out and clear out all the trees, but I figure I might as well start with the dead ones. So the plan with the stuff we are going to remove is, I'm thinking of a roundhouse, right? That'd be kind of cool. Kind of like a house made of sticks that looks kind of like an igloo, but it's made completely out of wood. And I've got a special roof for that, but it's going to be essentially round. It'll be a circle house. That'd be kind of cool, right? What do you think, Don? This is our vlog.
Sorry?
Our vlog.
Oh, okay.
It's our video log with your log.
My 2 log.
The 2 logs. Don't let me stop you. I'm just in the way. Back 40 years ago, they used to plant trees in rows, and it was a monoculture. They'd only put one specific species of tree in the forest, and they'd plant it kind of like crops. And their goal was to manage these forests. Well, it turns out people don't really like managing forests. They find either they don't want to cut them down because they feel that they're cutting trees down. Well, when a planted forest was planted, its ultimate design was to have every other tree removed at a certain point and every other row removed at a certain point in order for the entire species to grow. And then at some point, it's supposed to be completely harvested, like as in cut every single tree down and then start it again. That, unfortunately, hasn't really panned out in this situation. This forest in particular was planted about 40 years ago and then forgotten. It was never managed. Every tree is still standing the way it was when it was planted. Well, they're a little taller. My goal with this forest is to rehabilitate it back to a productive forest, meaning taking trees out. I'm starting with the dead ones, and then I'm going to move on to the live ones because I want more light to the forest floor. You got 3 logs, man.
Yeah, they're pretty small.
The load limit there. Log limit. There you go.
Okay, 4's too many.
4's too many? That was the...
4's too many.
All right, Don and I have been trying to figure out the circumference of a circle, and we have a 12-foot diameter circle. What's that, pi r squared? What do we think, 5.5, what, 35 feet? I mean, 35 feet worth of wall. There's gonna be a door in there too, so maybe not that many. We got put a big pile. We've been working at it pretty much all morning. You can kind of see our pile. Like, there it is there. Hopefully we have enough. It sure is cold out today. It's got that constant wind chill, and especially my right hand. My left hand has a glove on, but my right hand is frozen. Well, that's not a bad day's work. That's about 65 dead trees. And it looks like we did nothing, Don. Doesn't it? Does it look like we did anything?
Well, other than the piles of brush and...
It's true. It does look a little...
And the tracks.
That's right. They got little trails. We got little foot trails where we've kind of screwed through the bottom of the forest. We gotta get the logs out. Did you ever have one of these old school satellite dishes when you were a kid?
No, we just had the old antenna.
Antenna. Right, there you go.
It didn't even have a rotor on it.
Really?
No.
Hmm.
You got what you got.
You went out there and your dad would say, "Go get channel 4," and he'd reposition the rabbit ears to get.
No, we didn't even have that. Like,
Oh.
you couldn't.
Well, you could manually move them.
Well, if you went up on the roof.
Oh, okay. My dad had them on the thing, and he knew exactly where to put them to get every specific channel clearest.
Yeah.
And that was, yeah. I think
Actually, we were quite lucky because we did get quite a few channels.
Look at, it's like one of those. It's one of those fancy hats. Like one of those, I don't know, brimless. Round. Is it kinda, sorta? So that's the plan. Is to suspend the roof about here, Don. What do you think? Oh, it's not extra heavy. It gets stuck on my head. Ah. Okay. Isn't that the easiest roof you've ever made, Don?
That's one of them, anyways.
Isn't that great? Look at that thing. That thing's amazing. Then we're going to set it down on the ground, and that's going to give us our footprint, and then we're going to dig a trench, and that's what's going to hold our walls. So that's the plan. Sound like a plan, Don? All right, now we got our nice little trench dug, and now people are probably saying, why didn't you use your little backhoe to dig a trench? Well, I kind of like a nice tight hole for my posts, because otherwise they're wiggly. So that's why we dug a little trench. It didn't take that long, just over half an hour, 40 minutes or so. Don likes digging. I wouldn't want to take that away from him, right, Don?
That's right.
That's right.
I like digging a hole.
Yeah. So now our plan is to take our posts and set them in our trench, kind of one after the other, and hopefully kind of backfill as we go, pack them in, and that'll give us a nice solid wall. And then once we're done that, we're going to end up cutting the top of it flush, but we'll get to that a little bit later. First, we got to see if this will actually work, because it's all kind of experimental. In order to set our posts in the ground, we first started with one post and packed dirt around it, and then subsequently added more posts, packing the dirt around them as we went. We found it quite difficult to actually set more than one at a time. So Don was picking up the posts, bringing them to me, and I would pack the dirt around the posts in order for them to stand up. And then once everything stood up, we're going to level them. Bean, what do you think? What do you think, Bean? Quite the outpost starting to form. We've got our posts in the ground. We've got them somewhat plumbed. We just kind of loosely installed them here. You can tell already the sound has changed when you're in here, which is kind of cool. It's starting to close itself in. So what our plan now is to actually take a laser level and then shoot it around and then level off all the posts. And I'll probably add a little bit of an angle at the top. I think we need a block to make our laser go a little taller. Run around with the chainsaw to cut that thing out. Well, that worked out pretty good. I give you the same advice as I give my toddler is when you're doing that, keep your mouth closed, because it's much like swimming. You kind of eat a lot of sawdust, but it's perfectly level. Cool. Now we just got to put the roof on, and then we're going to wiggle them out as we see fit in order to fit the roof on. Should work, right?
And go out and just go like
these
that,
ones
right?
these ones are crazy not plumb, right? Like these ones here have to.
They have to come way out.
Yeah. So like if I go up there, we've got the bottom, it can't move. And what we're doing is we're plumbing the post up and down. We're pulling them out to the edge of the satellite dish, and then I got a steel roofing screw. This is a Vic West roofing screw, and I'm just putting it right through the square tubing, and holding each individual post in place all the way around. And that's going to give us a pretty solid structure once everything's attached together. You can kind of see how we can move it. We kind of split the difference between the spacing, just like that. This is pretty cool. We got the roof all done. Well, we got to still put the waterproofing on top, but we've got the structure of the roof done, and we've got all our posts in. As you can see, there's a lot of them. Can you guys guess how many there is? I'll give you a quick view of how many posts there are. The old bunker look. Anyway, that's pretty neat. There's lots of trees. There's too many trees, which it's the diversity really that comes, you know, in order. And I find the best way to deal with a project is to make an activity around it. So I like building.
Okay.
So I'm going to take.
There's some benefits to it.
I'm taking. There is some benefits.
There's some use to the trees.
I love this forest. I looked at this property 5 years ago. I was like, this thing is crazy, and primarily because I like to keep busy. So it's kind of like it keeps me busy. And I anticipate this being a lifelong project.
Well, sure.
It is, really. Here's the underlayer of the pine needles. So like I said, this forest has been here for 40 years. So if you go down deep enough, you've kind of got pine needles that are, you can pack them almost into a ball. They kind of stay that way. I think they're slightly digested or decomposed. So that, I was thinking maybe we could stuff in between the cracks. So I ended up picking up this tarp from when they decommission those bubble buildings. I guess they have a lifespan on those. So they're those big round white buildings that they're pressurized. They sometimes have sports fields in them or big factories. So I ended up picking them up. They actually have them outside their factory where, you know, free to good home or free to bad home. They just want to get rid of them. They just want to keep them out of the landfill. So I'm able to actually pick these guys up. They don't cost anything, and they're really durable for the reasons why I want to use them for. So I use them for covering wood piles and firewood and covering building material and stuff like that. You could probably use them for like a slip and slide or whatever, right? These things are awesome. So my plan with this tarp is to ultimately use it for the roof of the structure, because it is waterproof. It is a roofing material, and it's free, which is right up my alley. So there's an underlayer, which is this stuff, which is kind of translucent. It's significantly lighter than the other layer. So my plan is to actually separate the inner layer, which is also translucent and lighter, from the outer layer, which is really crazy heavy and it's really hard to manage. So that's my plan, to use an X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to cut it all out, and then it gives us a nice big piece for our roof structure. And I think this stuff will last forever. I don't want to cut the other thing. We have a fire, but it's slightly too big to cook on, so what I'm going to do is actually take my shovel and spread it out a little bit, and then rake my coals back underneath my grill so I can get my snack started. I've got afternoon coffee I'm going to make. I've got a special treat, actually, I want to try. I'm looking for a Christmas present for those hard-to-buy people, that grill. The link will be in the description below. It's really cool for backyard camping and cooking on a fire. We've been using it for quite some time. It's withstood the test of time. One of the coolest things about this grill is that you can adjust the height based on what you're cooking. So if you're boiling water and you want lots of heat, you lower it right down. And if you're cooking something, I don't know, like flan or something like that, you want it up higher and more precise, less heat, you just go up higher. Versatile for outdoor cooking. Well, I can't think of a better thing to do on a dark, dreary, cold afternoon than frying up the old bacon. This is the afternoon snack. I don't know if Dawn's tried the actual bacon that we had. We had a pig and we made some bacon. So I don't know if Dawn's actually tried it yet. So we're gonna make him some bacon and coffee. I can't think of a better afternoon snack than that. Oh, and I'm also gonna make a bacon s'more. If you've ever seen a bacon s'more, like a chocolate cookie covered with bacon. Or bacon will be in the inside, like a little tiny chocolate sandwich with bacon. Salty. I think it's gonna be delicious. Anyway, cooking up some bacon. And yeah, it's gonna be delicious. Snow. The snow started on cue. Yeah. Frying bacon.
Ooh, it's hot. I'm gonna leave it there for a few minutes. Bacon. That's excellent. Cooked to perfection. Nice and crisp.
Rocket fuel French press. We're gonna got our coffee grounds in the water, and we're gonna let our shit there for a little bit because we're gonna really impart our coffee grounds into our water because that's gonna keep us going. All right, so we got our chocolate covered cookie. We're gonna take our bacon. We're gonna stick it on top. Then we're gonna stick our another chocolate covered cookie underneath, on top of it, and then we're gonna melt it. We're gonna stick it back in the pan. So those chocolate covered cookies are called Leclerc, so they got a special place in my heart.
Okay. That's good. It's too hot.
Are you good? Are you smiling? Oh, that's good coffee. Anything cooked over a fire is just better. I think that coffee, Don.
Excellent. Already rejuvenated.
See that? Can you see that? I'm a guy of sweet tooth. I also like sugar in my coffee. Don's like, you're like just a cream. You don't even put sugar in your coffee. That's probably why. I forced him to have one. I was like, you got to expand your horizons, Don. Got to try. That thing's delicious. It's salty, sweet. You guys got to try it. Look, guys, that turned out pretty good. I got the roof all in. I got it screwed in place, and I managed to tuck it in so it. So I got very few wrinkles. Like it's kind of like doing upholstery. You just kind of tuck and bunch and curl. So I think this will shed water really nicely as it sits right there. And then I've got it tucked in on the sides there with the rubber washer, so it won't actually weep itself in. So I'm really impressed with that. I think it's going to work out really well. So my plan on this tarp is to actually fold it underneath itself and then keep it about 6 inches from the actual edge of the roof. And it kind of gives me a drip edge, so stuff will sheet off the roof and then drip a little bit away from my wall. So it goes like this, roughly 6 inches or so. And when you double up the material, it has less likely to wind to catch it and tear it. I'm not really worried about this stuff tearing. This stuff is very strong. Take a look at that. That looks amazing. It's got like a giant skylight in here. That's cool. It's going to be nice and bright when the sun ever comes out. What do you think, Don? What do you think of that?
Looks wonderful.
Doesn't it look cool?
It certainly does.
It's got that. It's got kind of like that.
With that mesh, it's got almost a honeycomb feel to it.
You feel like a bee?
Yeah.
Can you guys make that fire any bigger?
Trying to.
Oh yeah.
The thing's like 4.5 feet tall. So what we're working on is these little knobs here that stick out past past the average. What we want to do is average out the wall in order for our steel to kind of gently go around it. We don't want these little knobs sticking in place. So what Don is doing is actually using an axe and hacking them off. And I'm using a little battery powered planer, and I can actually just stick it in and just kind of rips it right off. Don prefers the banging method.
Well, I don't have a planer, so
That's right.
got my safety goggles on, I'm good.
I learned this flattening technique from an old drywaller that I knew. What he would do is he actually go into finished houses and he would take his planer and a long straight edge, and he put his straight edge on the wall, and anything that's that proud, he would take his planer and rip down to make it true from one side to the other in order to make the drywall hang flat. Because as you guys know, 2x4s aren't the straightest things in the world anymore. Oh, that stuff's heavy, Don. do you want to lift that and roll it?
Roll on, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can already notice a difference in here. It's not windy at all. We've got it up. It wasn't fun. It's extremely heavy and awkward. So what the plan now is to actually, Don's already started. What we're going to do is we're going to stuff in the pine needles, the under stuff, into the cracks of the building itself to kind of give it further, kind of like an insulation or a buffer. Give it a little bit of soundproofing as well. So we've got the little margin trowel and we're just tucking it in as we go, and we'll just fill it in basically from back to front, and that should give us a little bit of insulation. What do you think, Don? That's a good plan. So we've only been doing it for 3 hours. No, it's about
three done.
3 hours, three done. So about an hour each slot.
So about 60 days.
Yeah, we'll be done. We'll be done just after. We'll be early 2022. It's pretty solid in there now, and as the stuff falls out, we'll just kind of touch it up as we go. We don't know if we got it all over the back. Seems to be holding up pretty good, and I think I like the way it's finished it off. I find the easiest way to take apart any kind of skid is using a sawzall with either a metal blade or a really good kind of bi-metal blade. And my technique usually involves taking either a hammer, or if you can pry the skid, you can actually move the wood slightly in order to get your blades in between both pieces of wood, because if it's pinching, it doesn't really work. So the idea is to cut every nail one by one until you can loosen the boards. I find it's quicker than removing nails from the boards, and they don't split as often. So now that we've got all our wood sorted, we've got our building material, we've got our structure on the one side and our boards on the other side. So the idea behind this floor is going to be a patchwork skid wood floor. We've done these floors before, haven't we, Don? We've done it on the tarp shelter, which worked out really well. It turns out we needed a whole lot of floor. I think we have enough to do it this time. What do you think, Don? Think we got enough? Hope so. Otherwise, we're going to go back to the drawing board. Okay, so now that we got the subfloor in, and we got the camera in a terrible position, we're going to show you that we're going to put the floor down. So this is the pallet wood that we've cut off of the skids, and we're going to lay it kind of like a patchwork hardwood floor. But it's not hardwood, it's softwood. So it's just going to be a floor, but it's going to be in my circle cabin. I find whenever you're using pallet wood and a 16-inch on center sort of structure framing, I find it easier to always add blocking in between where there isn't a stud in order to continue on with installing the floor. It's kind of like a mending plate for flooring, especially with the flooring. You've got more than enough strength as we could, so we used the same width of boards in order to get all the way across, and then you would start again with a different row, and it didn't really matter if your next row is a different width because you're making it all the way across the floor. It's my tradition to lay on every single floor I've ever made. This one is no exception. It's just as comfortable. I think making flooring takes years off your life. Look at that for lighting. We have this beautiful lighting in this cabin. It's always kind of like golden hour when the sun is setting. But what's cool is that the ceiling is acting like a giant diffuser, which is giving me like beautiful lighting. And I don't know if you guys are into photography or not, but this is kind of like the lighting they just kind of dream of. It's got that old-timey feel to it. It's got that squeakiness.
Yeah, it's
I like it.
An old, as I said before, an old hardware store or an old general store.
Well, how cool is this? It's indoor project time. We've got the walls pretty much all framed out. We got them clad with our steel. They need a little bit of a wash because they're kind of dirty. They got a little bit of dirt on them, but that, nothing like a bucket of water and some soap that might help. But as you can see, we have no door. Santa Claus is coming to town. How's that for level? Can you see that? Can you see that? That's laser leveled with the assistance of a 4-foot level. I already like how this is turning out. This is super cool. In order to build my door, I ended up measuring the opening and ensuring that my door was a 1/4 inch smaller on all sides in order for it to fit the opening. I've started with the top and bottom and then added sides. And then once I've screwed those together, I added diagonal blocking in order to maintain square. And then once I was done that, I added more pallet wood to the back side of the door in order to complete the door. And then once I've done that, I add a little bit more detail in the front to give it a little bit more style. It even smells good. It's got that sweet smell of burnt wood. I don't know if that's a feature or a drawback, but I like it. I think this is really cool. I am really happy on the way this door turned out. Not just because it's got my logo burnt on the door in wood, which is really cool. I really like the way this looks. It actually fits really nice. This is cool. I like this. Look at it, it fits. It's perfectly matched. I think it turned out great. I like doors. I like making doors. I think the way they fit, I like it kind of tickles my brain just to make it fit and kind of like get the opening square, level and plumb and stuff like that. Like this thing works like amazing. It fits. I still got to put the door stop on, but that's a task for another day. In order to get my window in, I first got to get through this tin cladding that's on the wall. So what I'm going to use is tin snips, and I'm going to tin snip it all around the opening and get my first layer of cladding off. And then I'm going to proceed to use a chainsaw to cut the rest of it. I guess if you guys are just tuning in and you're watching me build this cabin in the wintertime, you're thinking, why the heck does he need an air conditioner? Well, turns out this cabin is a 4-season cabin. So in the summertime, when you want to keep it cool, there's the perfect solution for that was the EcoFlow Wave portable air conditioner. It's a 4,000 BTU portable air conditioner. It can work with the existing EcoFlow Delta and EcoFlow Delta Max packs to power your cooling needs. What's really neat about this thing is that you can have an add-on pack that gives you 3 hours of cooling, and you can extend that time up to 8 hours with the auto setting, which alternates between the fan setting and the cool setting, so it keeps you cool all night long. The EcoFlow Wave weighs just under 40 pounds or 17.5 kilograms, so making it the ultimate in portable air conditioners. You can put it in your car, and then you can bring it on your outdoor adventures. Say you want to cool your tent, or say you have an off-grid cabin that you want to cool. This thing is the ideal solution for any kind of summer cooling that you want. The other great thing about the EcoFlow Wave is you don't necessarily have to use it in the off-grid setting. You can use it in your bedroom. You can plug it into a regular AC outlet, and you can have unlimited cooling. With smart battery allocation algorithms, the EcoFlow Wave, you can set the time that you want it to run, and the smart programming inside the box will actually allow it to run that by alternating between using the compressor and using the fan settings. Another great feature about the EcoFlow Wave is the condensation is automatically dealt with. It's actually sent out the heat tube. But if your humidity is above 70% and you need a little extra help, there is an additional drain tube that you can hook up to a drain to ensure that it doesn't get overwhelmed with condensation. The EcoFlow can be set up in 3 different ways. A standalone unit, so just a fan, you don't even need any pipes, or in this configuration here, which has the pipe outside the window, or it could be set up with the unit itself outside and the pipe running through the window, so if you're, a quiet sleeper like I am. All right, let's give this thing a whirl. So on the current configuration that I have this EcoFlow Wave set up is I have the 2 pipes going out the window. I have it hooked up to my EcoFlow Delta Max power pack. Now, there is an optional power pack that goes directly on to the AC itself, and that runs DC voltage, so it actually gives you 28% more runtime, as opposed to other portable air conditioners, so it's crazy efficient. So this thing here, you hit the power button, it turns on, and it automatically starts to cool. Now, I've found is if you start off low fan and kind of get your cooling, your condensers kind of running, and everything starts cooling, then what you do is you can actually ramp it up. So you turn this little dial here, and it increases the fan speed. So we're going full tilt. It's ramping up. You can feel the fan. You can actually, you see that? Can you hear the fan coming out there? Look how much wind's coming out of that thing. I don't even know if you guys can hear that much wind coming out of there. That's like crazy cold air. That will cool my space in no time. It's already dropped 1 degree. We're down to 17 degrees Celsius already, just as it starts. There's other little features up top here is actually your timer, and then you can actually set your temperature all the way from, so we can set our temperature, we can go all the way up to, let's say you don't like it really cold, maybe you like it at 28 degrees Celsius, no problem. You just change your dial to 28 degrees and it'll maintain that temperature. And if you just want fan on, you can do that too. So if you like to sleep with a fan at night time and you're looking for an off-grid kind of just a really good blower, this thing is ideal for that sort of thing. So yeah, so this is pretty much how easy it is. There's not exactly a lot of moving parts. It is, one and done sort of thing. You can see the back side of that thing, and it comes with all the pipes, the condensation pipes, the vent tubes, and all that. So yeah, I really like this thing so far. I've been using it for a little bit, and it's come in quite handy. All right, I'm gonna try to illustrate how much air is coming out of that fan. So I've got myself a lit match and it's out. It didn't even stay lit that long. You can blow a match out. That's how much air is coming out of that pipe. Now this is the setup I like the most. It's when the air conditioning unit itself is outside and just a pipe comes through the window. So you get all of the air, but none of the mechanical noise that you normally associate with a window air conditioner. The third way to operate the EcoFlow Wave is the standalone. So this is the way you just basically plug it in, or if you're using the battery pack that is optional, you can just turn it on and it blows cold air out the front, the hot air goes out the back, so it keeps you nice and cool. Say if you're on the beach and it's extra humid and you just want a nice cool breeze when there isn't any, you can set this thing up just like this and you get a nice cool breeze all day. If you guys are looking to pick up your very own EcoFlow Wave, the link will be in the description below and you can use my coupon code MSRWAVE. I can't think of an easier or better way to install a window than with a chainsaw. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut the whole opening in the wall with a chainsaw. I gotta put it. How's that for a window? So that's an old window from a camper, and it's normally designed to be installed horizontally. It's not an up and down window, so I'm just going to use the old school stick method to keep my window up. I've got to put my returns on it and my trim, but I think that works pretty good. It's going to allow me to have some much needed ventilation in here. We got the firewood, or we got the wood stove cooking. We kind of want some window. We got some window open. How's that for a wood stove? That is the Scandia 150. I believe it was made in sometime in the early 70s, perhaps. And I think it was discontinued for whatever reason. The next step of the game is to make myself sort of a sleeping or a bed area. So my plan is to make a round bed, because everybody loves a round bed. You can snuggle yourself up in this. It'll double as some storage underneath. I've just got my 2x4 here. I've leveled it off. I'm gonna put a couple of supports in and then put my bedding or my top side on there. And it's got my little window with my little shelf. Oh, that's the greatest bed ever. I can lay right down. Holy, it's like, I think there's enough room in here for two.
Oh, it is actually. It is very comfortable.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, it is excellent.
It's got that neck support. You can just kind of like, the people pay big bucks for those log rolling things, like when they roll out their muscles.
Yeah.
Look how big that bed is. Other than Don is little, so it makes it look huge. This is an old wire spool end. And I got 3 legs. Try to attach those guys with some screws. Make yourself a nice solid table. Solid as a rock. Got a handle for carrying. Put it by your bench when you're ready to eat. It's like a TV table. Look at that. You get your computer. It's always best to keep your firewood off the ground, because otherwise creepy crawlies tend to go inside and hide in it. So that's why I'm going to build this out of some old pallet wood. I've got my my side pieces. I'm just fixing my middle pieces with a couple of screws. So this is the back portion of the wood holder. That's going to go like that. And I got a couple more I got to put in here. And that'll give me ample support for my firewood, because it's going to go in this way. Anytime I'm stacking wood, I like to kind of angle my pieces so they all kind of face the center, because if you have wood and it's stacked, it's pushing the outside, it doesn't matter how strong of a structure you build, that wood will eventually push it out. It's not so critically important when you're bringing your wood inside, but especially if you're stacking your wood outside, you want to overbuild in order to ensure your wood stack stays upright. If you build a box for your wood, you're able to put more wood in the smaller location. You don't have to build it like a pyramid. You can actually stack your wood straight up, complete square. This is our firewood rack, and now we've got a kindling rack as well, which is just above it. Dawn is cutting some smaller wood that we're going to put up there. So whenever we want to start a fire, we grab our kindling, we throw it in our fireplace, and away we go. Found myself another one of those wire spools, and this thing's going to be my outside picnic table. I just got to put some legs on it. In order to give myself a little bit more style or make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, I ended up using a lot of the skiffs off of the sawmill, which are the the round part of the log that you cut off before you make boards. The perimeter of the circle to give it a little bit more appeal, to kind of break up that, bomb shelter kind of metal look to it, and I think it turned out really nice. Okay, so here's the cabin. As you can see, we've got our inside. We ended up cladding it with steel, and that gives us a nice solid windbreak. And then once we've done that, we kind of thought, you know what, it looks too much like a steel bunker, so we ended up using some of the old sawmill gifts to give it that rustic appeal. We've got our little camper window, our shed window, allows us much needed ventilation in here. Not to mention there's a satellite dish on the roof, which turns out it's about 10 feet in diameter. It's not 12 feet in diameter. And then we've got the bubble building wrap that's providing us waterproofing and snow sheltering for ours. We've got a little bit of a light fixture up there, which is a light bulb. And so at nighttime, if we need more light, we can power that guy up. We've got a little bed / bench, little cozy little sitting area over here, which doubles as some storage underneath. We can put all our stuff, so when we're working in the forest, we have a place to kind of rest, put our feet up. Over here, we've got some kindling storage, and we've got our secret weapon, the old pine cone. If you've ever started a fire in the wintertime or even in the summertime, if you can find yourself a pine cone, that is the way to start a fire. And we've got our firewood storage rack over here. It's up high, dry. It'll allow everything to stay kind of dry and not get the humidity off the ground. Over here we got the Scandia Frontier 150 wood stove. It's pretty neat. We haven't really fired it up yet because we still need to put a chimney in, but that'll be a project for another day. And we got a sitting area over here for eating at the table, or you can take your table and you can pull it up to your bench. Very versatile that way. We've got our coat hooks, which allow us to hang our jackets, something to dry off. I think this is pretty darn cozy. I like that term. It's my muffin cabin. This is my first overnight. We're gonna give this thing its old tryout. We've got pretty much everything wrapped up on the outside. You can kind of see we've got our stuff. Seems to be relatively airtight. I've got a little bit more to do up around there. As you can see, there's snow piling up on the roof, which is kind of cool, and it's kind of not cool because I don't really have any proper lighting set up in there. So that's second on the agenda. Primary objective right now is to get a source of heating. So I got the stove in place, but I haven't actually hooked it up yet. I gotta put the chimney in. Maybe you need a snow stick from the outside. As you can see, it gets significantly brighter in here once you get your snow off. Find a solution for our lighting situation as opposed to having just a bulb that's there to bat. Scandia 150. So I'm gonna hook that thing up. I've got a little bit of a Frankenstein chimney I thought out. I've got some double wall stainless, which is gonna get me through the wall. And then I have some other stainless steel pipe that I used for our reclaimed from a oil furnace that I want to install. Hopefully we can get this thing set up, because I hear it's gonna get cold tonight. hindsight, that probably wasn't a great idea because the back of the cabin is stuffed with pine needles. But as it appears, I did not light it on fire. Let's cut the wood out and see how far we get. Hole! Isn't this a glorious hole? It sure is big. As long as you can hit the edges. Let's see if my pipe will fit in this. Oh yeah, get in there. Come on. There we go. If you're ever doing a stove, I highly recommend following the manufacturer's recommendation on stove pipes. You know, chimney clearances, stove clearances, sort of stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff you don't really want to mess around with. Yeah, that's just my public service announcement. This is what I do. This is not necessarily how you do it. And you can see the oval shape here. I have to make the round pipe oval in order to sit on the thing, but that's pretty tight. But I forgot to put the heat shield on, so. This is a stainless steel chimney liner. It's not like your dryer vent, the really flimsy stuff. It's actually very rigid. And then it goes up to that. And then what you can do is actually you can bend it depending on the primary wind. The primary wind comes from this direction that way. So anyways, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be blowing this direction towards the cabin. I think it's pretty good. I'm going to get it fired up, see if it actually draws. I'm always curious when I get a new fireplace to see how it works. And this one is no different other than it is a antique. We're going to try it out. I'm always so impressed on how well this old stuff works. This stove lights like a dream, and everything works on it really well. Like this little damper thing here, you can turn it to have more oxygen, create more heat, but when you turn it down, it turns it like, other than it really stinks. I don't know where it was. I think I got it from an old shop, and so whatever was landing on it for, you know, tens of years that it was sitting there in storage, it's kind of burning off right now, and it kind of doesn't smell very pretty. So I got a special place for wood stoves. I love wood stoves. Come in. Hello.
Hi. I brought coffee and ginger snaps.
Oh yeah? You gotta come in?
For a little bit.
Frank, come in.
I don't know if you fit.
Frankie comes in. She's fine. You guys don't know who this is. This is Rachel. This is my wife.
Hello.
You bring me cookies. Are you gonna stay overnight?
Probably not.
What do you mean probably not? Is that a maybe?
No, that means a no.
That means a no. You're not gonna. It's warm in here.
It is warm. We'd have to find someone to watch the child.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's not a cabin for three. We almost got it done. Got the chimney all sorted. On camera, it looks like it has a smell.
It's a bit more rustic than I'm used to.
Oh, you don't like this?
It looks okay.
You don't like the rustic? It's like we're in an above ground pool, but we're not in the water. This is an above ground pool. I don't know if you're keeping track. She
No.
doesn't listen to me when I talk.
You talk a lot.
That's right.
You have a lot of ideas.
A lot of ideas. You hear that? All right. Well, we're gonna enjoy our coffee together. You guys can say hello to Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
In the comments, she reads the comments. She's not the moderator, but she's always watching the comments.
Making sure everyone's being nice.
That's right. Make sure everybody's playing nice, being nice.
You want one too?
A very good gingerbread. Frankie's gonna steal my cookie if I put it down.
Yeah.
I'm gonna set this thing up like a palace. It doesn't look like much right now, but it's gonna get better. I just gotta add some. I'm thinking a TV.
Oh, a TV.
You think a TV right there? There's a big wall right there that wants a TV. What else are you gonna do by yourself overnight in a shack in the woods? Took your mittens off. I took your mittens off. That's the official. It means it's warm in here.
Yes.
No, it's just started, so we're gonna see how hot we can get this. Well guys, it's time to introduce you to the newest EcoFlow battery. This is the EcoFlow Delta Pro. Now, what's special about this battery is it's one of the biggest ones they make. It's also sort of near the territory of where you can replace all your home power needs. This thing packs a huge punch. It's got 3,600 watt hours of power, 3.6 kilowatt hours of power. It can be recharged from your power from your house in 1.8 hours. That is incredible speeds for a power pack of this size. What's also cool about this thing is it's scalable. You can add multiple packs. You can go all the way up to 25 kilowatt hours of power. That can power your whole house for a week, just to give you an idea. All right, let's take a look at the business end of this guy. This guy's got 4 pure sine AC ports. It's also got a RV adapter, which is really cool. You can plug your RV in there. It's got USB-C 2 ports there, and it's got 4 USB-A fast charging ports. It also has a really cool display, and it's got a handle. You push this button in and you pull it out like that, and you can use it like a dolly, so you don't have to carry this thing around. It also has 2 handles up top, so if you need to carry it, you can. You just get it close to your body, you pick it up. It's got 2 cooling fans that keep the inverter cool when it's got high drain devices attached. On the back here, we've got 2 battery ports for extra batteries. We've got battery port 1, battery port 2. This has got the AC adapter, so you can charge it with your line voltage at home. It's got fast charge, slow charge. We also have our solar panel hookup and a fuse reset. And on this side of the pack, we have the DC hookups. So we have 8mm ports. We have a cigarette lighter adapter, or the car adapter ports. And we have some just, if you want to push in some DC power ports. That's kind of cool. Using its pure sine inverter, it can deliver up to 3,600 watts of power and up to 4,500 watts of power using its X-Boost technology. That means you can power 99.99% of all devices. You can either hook it up to your solar panels, up to 1,600 watts of charging ability, and if you're in your camper or your mobile home, or if you got it in the trunk of your car, you can charge this thing at the electrical vehicle charging station super fast. You can add more than 1 pack, so you start off with 1 pack at 3.6 kilowatt hours. That's pretty good for regular use. You can power your refrigerators, your freezers, your curling irons, your hair straighteners, those important things, you know, the emergency use sort of things, you know, hot plate, toaster oven sort of stuff. But then you can scale it up even further by adding a secondary pack. So you can have 7.2 kilowatt hours. That's with 2 packs, but you can go 3, 4, 5, even 6 packs. You can go up to 25 kilowatt hours of power. That's pretty much replacing the entire power consumption of your entire house. In an emergency situation, you can pull it out of your closet and you have access to reliable power. Say, for instance, you need to make coffee or you need to run your CPAP machine. This is sort of the device that you can have in case of an emergency. And a huge thank you for EcoFlow Delta for sponsoring this video. If you guys are looking to get yourself a pack, you can check out the link in the description below. Do you ever think to yourself, maybe I shouldn't, or maybe I should, or maybe I should just because I can, or I should try just because I want to? Anyways, here's the story. Here's the story of me and my, construction life wireless hotspot, and I connected my Roku box to it, and then connected my TV to it. So that allows me to get. Let's see, what does it allow me to get? I haven't even gone to the home button yet. I've connected it. It says I'm connected. It's slow. Come on. It said it was connected. I really wanted it to work. I brought a DVD player just in case. Backups and backups. So as it turned out, you need to do it a couple times the same way over and over and over again, and all of a sudden it works. That's just the way computers work. I got the best funny cat videos and dog videos. This is the default. This is why so many people like cat videos. Oh, yeah, there goes the cat video. All right. Anyways. Ugh, it's really loud. Okay, well, we got that working. That'll be late night entertainment. Hurry up, turn the cat video off. I gotta do some other stuff. I'm not ready for TV quite just yet, but it's pretty cool that I got it working. This is why cat videos are so distracting. Why does he got a McDonald's thing on his head? Oh, it's a funny dog. Okay, distracting. Okay, I can do some more stuff because it's way too early for that. Well, I got a couple more things I want to do before I hunker down for the night. Got my bed secret weapon this time. Every time I've slept overnight in a cabin I've built, I've woken up freezing. So I found a solution. I got the old heating blanket. And my plan is to make myself a little bit of a sleeping burrito. So I've got my thermal protection on the bottom. I've got my heating blanket in the middle, which I'm gonna be the ingredients. I'm going inside the burrito. and then I got a top layer as well. So I just gotta hook this thing up. Spaghetti factory. You can dial this guy all the way up to 9. Or probably like 11. 10 hours. I can sleep for 10 hours. Alright, so that's my secret weapon. Top layer. Double top layer. There. Bed's all made up. I think I'm gonna wake up in the morning warm. Well, it's about dinner time. It's gotten dark. Isn't it great in the wintertime when it gets dark around 5 o'clock? Might as well start making my dinner. I've got some flatbread pizza planned. I've got, well, I'm going to put it in my little toaster oven here. I'm going to preheat to 350. 350, put it on bake. All right, so that's going to preheat. I'm going to preheat my toaster oven, and I'm going to put my pizza together. It's, I make it with all leftovers. So we got some chicken, we got some bacon, we got some sweet baby rays for sauce, and a little bit of onion for flavor. Got some cheese, mozzarella, and then you pop it in the oven. Delicious. So that's the current plan on the menu. I just gotta warm that guy up so I'm not burning my coat. All right, well, I got my pizza in the oven at 350 for about 10-15 minutes, and I've got my TV set up, and I've got it hot spotted to my phone, and I've got YouTube planned. So while I'm waiting for my pizza to cook, I might as well catch up on one of my favorite YouTubers. We got Zach Fowler. We got Fowler's Makery of Mischief. He's got a new episode out 2 days ago. Adventure, come on. There you go. You ready? We're going out on the ice. What do you think of the ice? Come here, Butter. There he goes. Hold still. Look at that. We got Zach on the TV in the forest. All right, so we're gonna wait. I'm gonna watch this, and while you guys, it's too loud. Turn it out. All right, so I'm gonna catch up on that. We'll get you back in another 10 minutes when my pizza's done. This is pretty cool. All of the creature comforts of home in a cabin. Pizza. That's garlic naan bread with Parmesan in there with mozzarella. There's a little bit of white onions. We couldn't find any green onions. We got little pieces of bacon, little pieces of chicken, and we got sweet baby rays underneath it, which makes a really nice flatbread pizza. Everything tastes better when you have to try. You know? When it's just handed to you, it doesn't taste as good. I don't know why. Well, there you go. There's my non-bread pizza, a staple of mine. We eat it probably once a week. Well, that was almost too much pizza to eat. It was almost bigger than my head. I'm almost done. You're getting the pizza sweats. Whew. How's that for a fireside chat? I'm like almost sitting in the fire. Got my little flashlight here. Scary flashlight. I know that cabin turned out really cool. I really like the way it functions. I like the shape of it. I like that it appears like when you're inside, it just feels big. It's almost like sitting at a round table. You're sitting in a round room, it just feels bigger. Even on camera, it shows bigger because it's just got no corners. So it really turned out well. I'm very pleased with it, the way it turned out. I'm not even trying to do these puns. It's a round building. It turned out nice. These are the kind of structures that I've always kind of wanted to build round things. I've always kind of pushed the envelopes, even in my professional career, building round things. I like to make curvy stuff. Anything I can make complicated, I do. But I guess in the cube build, you can kind of see the decorative round sort of ceiling, that sort of stuff. That's the sort of stuff I've specialized in. All right, guys. Well, it's getting late. I might as well, get myself situated. I was gonna bring shoes. I didn't think this floor isn't exactly sock worthy. Needs like an area rug. It's bush worthy. So I got another pair of pants underneath here. As soon as winter comes, I ended up just keep adding pairs of pants until spring. So it's about 2 pair of pant day and 2 shirt day. So it's you get the pajama pants underneath your regular pants. So I got my heating blanket all fired up. I've got it on 5. Hopefully that doesn't cook me. And I've got the multi-layer blankets. I should be warm. I've got the fire stoked. I anticipated going like this high and then down low, and that's when the heating blanket will kick on and kind of keep me the rest of the way. Watch the lights. Nah, it didn't work. I need the clapper or a switch. I gotta go over there and turn it off. Yeah, I got a flashlight. All right, well, you guys, good night. See you in the morning. Well, good morning, guys. It's not cold. It's not cold in here at all. Well, it's a little chilly. Still a little bit of fire left. Yeah. I think that really worked really well. What's crazily surprising is that reflective light off the ceiling. It just makes it so bright in here. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. It went relatively well. Like, I think this is one of the. I think I'm getting better at sleeping off grid. It's kind of like I've taken all of civilization and brought it with me. I have. I wouldn't even consider this off grid. I brought my own grid with the EcoFlow Pro. It powered everything. It powered the TV. It powered the blanket, the cooking. You know, the warming up of the coffee, of the TV, like a phone charging, lights. Again, it's almost like cheating. My parting words is it worked really well, and I hope you guys enjoyed me on this one, and join me on the next one.